Welcome, everyone. My name is Holly Hill. I am the CEO and co-founder of SiftMed. And today we are joined by Dr. Alex Rabinovich, who is going to talk to us a bit about a topic that is transforming a bunch of industries, almost every industry, including the IME industry, and that is AI. So today we're actually going to talk about AI and its use in medical records and in how we do our medical file reviews. I'm going to start by Alex. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Alex Rabinovich. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I've been practicing 15 years in Hamilton, Ontario. I have 100% clinical practice, but I also do med legal assessments on the side. And I'm trained as a foot and ankle specialist with a general orthopedic background. And I've established a practice here in Hamilton that involves both surgical and non-surgical care. In my med legal practice, I travel the country providing med legal assessments in addition to expert opinions. AI has definitely been a topic of interest to me. For many years, I've always considered myself somewhat of a techie in the forefront of technology as it develops. And I've been keeping a close eye on technologies over the years, and I've been very impressed with what's been coming down the line over the last few years.
I'm surprised with that background, you have much time to be also interested in AI. But what does kind of pique that interest? Where did it come from, and why where's the interest coming from on AI?
Growing up, being introduced to computers, the internet, the vast knowledge of information that's out there, going into medicine, learning all of this stuff, then practicing, and then trying to summarize it and organize it. And I'm always trying to be more efficient. One of the reasons my practice has done so well, be it clinical or med legal, is because I try to be as efficient as I can. And that is having obviously good staff to work with me, but having good technology to assist, a good tool that can help me make my work easier. So I've always been interested in good tools to help my practice grow. So in the past, it was computers, and then it was the internet, and then it was different software. And now with AI, which was an absolute dream years ago, it's now becoming a reality to help develop and grow this new technology to enhance what I can offer, makes it even very interesting and very promising, in my opinion. So this is I've always been interested in it, and I'm very impressed with the growing technology that's out there. It's all about being efficient, in my opinion, being efficient, being accurate, providing better care, better results, better output. And I really see it growing in that direction.
I think one of the reasons I've always, since we first met, I do really enjoy chatting with you on this stuff because I think you have a forward-looking view and forward-thinking approach to kind of your practice, and especially in your field. As an orthopedic surgeon with a very busy practice and doing a lot of IME work, why do you think AI is important for medical professionals at this point in time to be considering? Like, what about it do you think is important? If a medical professional, why should I, other than, you talked about a busy practice and make it more efficient, is there anything else you would suggest for why it's important to consider?
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit of background. The way I have done IMEs or med legal assessments for the last 15 years has always been in the traditional way, which is interview the client, review the medical records, then sit down, write down the summaries, write the reports, and each report is individualized and customized. And there's only a certain amount of time that I have to do this. In order to help me out, I hire humans, assistants, to help me with some of the process of, let's say, doing the intake, helping me with some of the logistics of writing the reports. At the end of the day, it takes time and money. And the technologies that are out there, like AI, has helped me now be much more efficient, especially in summarizing documents, for example, filtering out unnecessary, let's say, duplicates of reports, unnecessary fluff that's in a lot of the paperwork out there, and then focusing on the most relevant and most critical aspects of the claimant and their medical brief. AI has really significantly helped me in reducing the time required to produce a high quality report. And my assistants that I work with are utilizing it in order to help them even be more efficient. So Now in the past, now I'm able to do more reports in a more efficient manner than I did 10 years ago. And as the technology develops, I can see this growing even more to be even faster and better and more accurate. This is kind of the beauty about this, is that AI is a learning machine. So in the past, the systems that I used were very passive, and not very much learning. I still had to customize it and do it myself, and it only worked for me. But with AI, you have this opportunity where it can learn, and it can learn to what you want it to be like. So it's kind of like almost like growing a child and raising a child and teaching them how to do things the way you want them to do it. And that's really impresses me. And I think we're getting there very quickly. And that's something that I'm very impressed with the current technologies out there.
That's well said, and I do like the analogy of training it over time to understand how to scale, and AI is evolving fast, and there's a lot of tools on the market, as you alluded to. You folks are using a number of them. I think for many people who are not as kind of involved in this space or watching the trends, it can be overwhelming to decide what they're going to use. What trends are you seeing happening now that you think are here to stay, and any advice kind of in how you're choosing tools to use?
That's a great question because I'd like to kind of summarize a few of the tools that I'm using without getting into specifics. But for example, in my clinical practice, we've implemented AI to deal with incoming faxes. We get thousands of faxes a week, be it imaging reports, appointments, new referrals. My practice has 50 physicians that work under me, and it's a very busy practice. And now AI is able to organize the faxes coming in, take out the appropriate information, create a file for the client, for the patient, organize the documents in the electronic medical record system, put them on the wait list, and schedule them. And then at the same time, inform the referring doctor of the date and time of the appointment as well as the patient's. And it's all done automatically now. So I've saved time, I've saved money, and I have less mistakes because humans are not entering the data. So that's one system I use every single day. Another system that we've implemented is something called AI Scribe, which allows to listen to a conversation between patient and doctor and generate a note. So we don't actually have to type it. And then we easily just review it and then submit it to the system, and then it gets faxed over to the referring doctor. So AI Scribe, that requires development, that requires growing and educating it. And in my med legal practice, using AI to help me summarize, organize documents and huge medical briefs has been a huge help. The SiftMed product I've used now on many clients, and it has saved literally hundreds of hours of manpower in terms of summarizing and organizing documents. I always give this example when I talk to my colleagues, sorry, about SiftMed. I give the example of this. One of my first cases was around a 4,000-page document review, and generally that takes us about 4 to 5 hours of review in order to summarize that. And once I put it into SysMed, I did it by myself over a period of 20 minutes. And that was just my first experience. And it has just gotten better since then. And, I've just uploaded recently an 8,000-page med review, which I'm going to summarize in the next day or so. And that's going to probably take me less than an hour. So in the past, that took weeks. This is the benefit of having good AI, good people working in the background, developing, teaching, uh, growing the AI technology to allow me to use this to be more efficient and a better clinician, better expert in my field. And this is what I like about it. This is how I use it, and this is what I love about it.
I love that story. I've had many conversations with you. I didn't know that it was such an impact. So thank you for sharing that. Just two other questions here for you. One is, thinking about physicians considering I have a duty. I'm a medical professional. Should I use AI? What kind of implications could there be? Is there any considerations that you would share, or things that, as a medical professional, they should be thinking about as a responsible, effective, kind of responsible use of AI?
Yeah, so that's one of the hot topics. I'm involved. I went to the Ontario Medical Association Digital Health Conference a few months ago. We had a big discussion and conversation about the legalities of using AI technology, and it's definitely on the forefront. And the Medical Protective Agency, the provincial colleges have all had statements about it. So the bottom line comes down to the physician and the person. This is still your work. You are using a tool, and you still have to confirm that what the tool has produced is good quality evidence and good quality reporting. So the responsibility still lies on you. And I 100% believe that. So no matter which AI tool I use, it's very important to tell my colleagues and my staff and my partners is that you still have to verify everything yourself. Just like if you had a medical student, a resident, anybody working under you, you have to still verify the results. Maybe in the future AI will become so good that you won't have to do so. But at this point, to be on the safe side, I would always verify it. At the same time, the tools are so good that when I do verify them, it is extremely rare that I find any major mistakes. That's the thing that really impresses me. I'm extremely obsessive and compulsive about these reports and about my clinical practice. And I look at everything, I verify everything, and it's extremely rare for me to find any major mistakes. Maybe minor mistakes like misspelling or a description of something that was misunderstood or something like that. But major mistakes that change the course of the report, I honestly I have not seen it. So it's important that you still verify it, in my opinion. But the technology is definitely getting better. At the same time, I think it's also important to divulge to the people that you're working with that you are using AI technology. I think it should not be a secret. This is a tool that you are using. And if somebody said, "Did you use AI?" Yes, I did use AI. And I use this software. And this software is, let's say, approved by my college, it's approved in my industry, and I verified every single thing that came out of it. So the key is not to put this in the shadows, put this right in the front and saying, yes, this is a tool that I use. Be honest and be truthful about it. And I think that's how you get around any sort of uncertainty and uncomfortable feeling in the situation. That's my view on kind of the med legal aspect of it.
I love that. That is a great thought and kind of approach to say, make sure we share that you're using it. This has been very insightful, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat and join with us today. Before I wrap up, any final words of advice for any medical professionals that may be hesitant on trying AI or adopting AI?
Yeah, so definitely I have some words of advice, and the advice is to try it out. The advice is to talk to people that are using it and give it a try. And don't just give it like a little brush over, give it a legitimate try. If you were buying a very expensive car, you would give it a good test drive. You would take it on the road, on the highway, on the off road. You're going to test it out. You're going to run it out. You're going to put the miles on it before you make a commitment. Do the same thing with AI. Try it out. When I implemented software in my office, we tried it out for 2 months beforehand, and it took some learning, took some time. We had some bumps along the way, but now it's completely an invaluable part of my practice. And it requires learning, it requires time, but give it a good, fair try. I always tell my colleagues to do that. And when they do that and they give it a fair try, they change their mind. Everybody that I know so far that has given AI a try, be it in EMR record keeping, be it in med legal, SiftMed, everybody has continued to use it. I don't know somebody who has used it and said, "No, it's not good. I'm not gonna use it again." So that's the way I look at it.
And I think that's great advice across all industries. Great piece to end with. Thank you, Dr. Rabinovich, for joining us today. Really appreciate your insight and for you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.